Back now. We're back now, but we can't figure out where the sound issues are coming from. That's okay. You guys stay with us. But it is amazing how every time we do this show that something comes up. And so we're going to fix this video. We're going to slide it back here. We know that you guys
Oh,
are still
Jesus.
on, and it's always something. So this mic wasn't making any bad
Because we did a
noises.
test before. We did a
It's a
test.
test. I promise you, every week we're gonna have to figure out this test, and then look how
Right.
we look like. Here we are. Thank you for rejoining. Y'all just stay right where you are. It's gonna be good. And I tell you, look, the sound noise. You hear the rain anymore?
No.
The rain is gone.
Okay.
Holmes, you there? But we gotta wait till our people come back on. They join in like crazy too. Look. And so y'all don't have to worry. We're still here. What I did just now is I disconnected this mic. We got this real cool mic. Y'all can't see. See, look at the mic. Look, got this mic. Technology is very interesting. So nobody, the devil really does try to do all these distractions. And I'm just kind of stalling because I want everybody here. Move a little closer. Vera, I'm trying to move a little closer.
I see Angie. I see Dunbar. I see Holmes. I see Russell. Hey, Lisa. Pastor. Vera Spencer. Yvonne Holmes. I see all you guys. Amen. Eric Cooley. Pastor Arnold. Pastor
moving
Cooley.
over. Vera said, "Move over, son.
Okay.
Move over."
Keep coaching us, Vera. We need your help.
Yeah, we need some help. So we're working this out.
We're going to make it work.
And so, so people are rejoining. So I want to kind of take our time just a little bit.
Did I say Angie, my niece in D.C.?
Oh, okay.
I was like, hey, Angie.
This is, Angie, she says, hey, uncle. So we're waiting for people to kind of get back on. So, but I am going to start. You wanted me to tell the story? You had something you were going to set it up.
Well, no, I told about watching the person I was in love with, my best buddy, my friend, people that saw it when they saw me, they saw Jean. Even if I went somewhere and did a men convention, she was always with me. So I just shared that, and to see the person that you love fade away each day and lose a little of themselves, it was one of the most troubling and times I ever had. My dad has passed and went to be with the Lord. My mom passed, but no experience I had compared to a spouse passing.
Right. Yeah.
And I know Pastor Dent said someone from their church whose husband passed this year, I think, or last year. They own, so we want to talk to them as well.
Yeah.
We want to talk to those people.
Right.
So let's get started.
Yeah.
Let's get started.
Okay.
So you're gonna tell your part about David and your husband.
Well,
and then we go right into how we met and
right. Okay. So, we don't ever have to assume that everybody knows me, right? Everybody may not know you that may be watching on my side either. So, about 7 years ago, my husband was killed by my nephew. He was stabbed. And so, for 7 years, really, I kind of, at least 5 years, I kind of stayed to myself, tried to, figure out life. Life was very interesting. My head was really consumed with, what do I do next? Thinking about my kids at the time. I think they were 8 and 9, and didn't really know what to do next. But I remember, if for those that have been married or are married, and you still have your spouse, there's nothing like, being married and you're always connected with that person. But the time that something happens and they disappear or they go away, you'll find yourself, and Fuller talks about this too, you'll find yourself calling their name or thinking, I want to pick up the phone and call so-and-so and tell them about, and then you say, oh. And so, we always talk about, I don't know which one is worse, losing a spouse like that or losing a spouse where you have to watch them deteriorate over time, And so two different stories, unlikely chances that we would ever meet. But so I'm going to go into this story. So I remember, hey, Snotty, hey there. How are you, Richards and Jerice?
Jerice on?
Yeah, okay. So, but I remember
my cousin Faye Richards zone. I see Snooty from South Carolina's own. I mean,
Fuller got a cell
Dunbar,
phone
South
also
Carolina.
too. He
Yeah.
got a cell phone on too.
Yep.
So, okay. So I know that I remember Gene now I'm going to refer to him as Bishop Fuller, even though that's not what I call him now. But at the time, I remember Miss Jean and Bishop Fuller. I'd always see them down front, just always worshiping, and I admired that so much. They always look happy. You guys know it. They always own just the happiest couple I could ever imagine. So when I heard that Miss Jean had passed away, my heart leaped. I mean, I don't know why I felt compelled to reach out. But I remember reaching out to Minister Carol, and I asked her if it would be okay. I don't know why I even called her. Maybe because I knew that she was probably the closest person I could find to you. And so I reached out to her and said, could you check and see if it would be okay if I went by to check on Bishop Fuller? Because it's my heart just, I can't believe it, right? And we were during the pandemic, and so all these services were happening. People were passing away, and people were having whether it's financial or just we didn't see anybody. So it was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? And so so finally, I think maybe a few days later, I don't know, a couple days later, or maybe one day later, Minister Carol then called me back, and she said, yes, I talked to his sister Vera, and she said you come over. And I thought, okay, I've never gone over to anybody's house that's, lost a spouse before. I mean, there have been plenty of people that have lost a spouse and not never gone over before anybody's house. I mean, within reason. And I went over there and got your address and got in the house. And as soon as I walked in the door, I remember seeing Chico and I remember seeing Matt in the garage. And me and Paige, of course, at the time.
They're my sons.
Yep, they're your sons.
My sisters
Can't
was there.
assume.
My in-laws was there. All my brother-in-laws and everything.
Oh, Jeree says my Shana told me. Look at her. She said my Shana told me. So I remember, I went over and walked in the house, and I don't think you were in your den area.
Yeah. Family room.
Right, your family room, and I came inside and I spoke to Vera, and I didn't even know Vera Fat and sisters, Vera Fat, Jennifer. I didn't know them by face or anything because our church is so big. So I never really decided, that I didn't know their faces at all. So then I came inside, and then all of a sudden you appeared in your family room, and I was like, oh my gosh! I said, hello, how are you doing? Just want to, if Kenneth Fuller, this is him all the time, smiling. So he was, smiling, and I was thinking, wow, how do you smile and you're hurting or you lose a spouse? But he was still smiling, and so I didn't think anything of it. I came in and I spoke, and then what did I get from you? You were like, oh my gosh,
Darlene.
I was like, Darlene.
And the whole family was like that because we were seeing you on the platform doing praise and worship. I didn't even know your last name. All I knew, I thought your name was Darlene.
Right. Reggie said, oh, and I said, I was just in awe that one, I was in his house and that his whole family was there. And
you never seen me with short pants on and a t-shirt.
Yeah. This cool dude, Lynetta didn't, you say it all the time. This cool dude who came in and who was standing there, who had on cargo shorts, some military-like cargo shorts, and I think it was a black t-shirt, a hat, and
she's trying to play like she don't remember. She knows she remembers.
And some red, look, I know from the top to the bottom, some red shoes. But even then, I wasn't really paying attention to you. But I noticed this cool guy that normally is all buttoned up, got, his shirt and tie and, just Bishop Fuller. And so then you said, hey, I'm going to have this... service
Around the pool in the back.
We were gonna celebrate Gene, and they were gonna have some worship people come over. Everybody was just gonna sing, and Corinne was gonna come over. In case you guys don't know, Corinne, amazing worship leader at World Changers. So Corinne, he had invited Corinne, and you had said, well, why don't you come over so you can sing? And I'm like, Sure, yes,
You and Boo, and
absolutely.
with Boo, the
Boo,
three of you guys
yep.
together. I
And so
just
the family was just
know
going to
it'll
be
be
like your
awesome.
family and a few people that were going to come over. And we said, sure, I'll come over. And so I think you asked for my number, and then Vera
Yeah.
was there, and she was getting the number, and we were talking about worship videos. And what was shocking to me is that the person that I could imagine that you are, that you really were, that you guys were watching uh, praise and
Yeah.
worship videos. And I was like, wow, people really are saved.
Yeah, I
But
got
but
you.
I was like, that's so good. Just in your spare time, free time, sitting there, just even in the hurt, watching praise and worship, and that wasn't uncommon. From that matched exactly what I saw
Yeah.
when I met you, and so I didn't really think of anything from that. I think we stayed probably about an hour, exchanged phone numbers. Then I left, got ready to leave, and he made a comment to my daughter, who admires so many praise and worship leaders. When your kids, it's
Right.
like your
Always
church
somebody else.
congregation. They always love other people. They say great things. It's like, even at our own church, we see we got a great man of God who can teach the word. But you see other people that are very well known. That if they were having a convention, the whole church would be packed. It's kind of like even in my own house. For my daughter, she loves me, but she admired other praise and worship leaders. And so he made a comment to my daughter that I'll never forget. And it wasn't to minimize anyone
No.
and what their gift God had given them. But he said to her, he said, Paige, and he ran outside. See, this is what threw me off. I'm like, this is Bishop Kenneth Fuller. We getting ready to leave. We're outside. We're all,
Taking
just
pictures in the
we
yard.
taking pictures in the yard. At the time I had my Mini Cooper, so Paige is like, let me take a picture over here by the pool, or by the tree. And so we're outside taking pictures, and he runs outside. I'm like, Bishop Fuller, he's running. What are you running outside? And so he says to me, Paige, 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 I want you to know the other praise and worship leaders are on the stage, and they can really minister, and they are fabulous. They are anointed. They are great. He said, but your mom, she owns
Owns the stage.
the stage. And I said, dang.
I got her
He
saying
got me
it.
saying this stuff like that. And so, but that really blessed me. And I really didn't think anything of that. You guys look. This story gonna go on probably
So you better
for a
speed
few
it up
weeks.
a little
Okay,
bit so we
so
get a lot in.
how much more we want to get in? You
Go
go.
on. So you call me to check on me.
Oh yeah, a few days later, maybe I don't know, 2 or 3 days later, I called. No, someone called me to let me know that they had canceled the memorial service, such that they weren't gonna have outside family come. They were just gonna do family because Fuller had gone to the
of
doctor
COVID.
because of
Yeah.
COVID, so they were gonna keep it to a minimum. I was like, okay. And so I just, left it at that. Then a few days later, I called to check on him, and just to see how he was doing. He didn't answer, but he called me back. And when he called me back, he was just, casually. I was just, casually having a conversation, asking him how he was doing, and then I start joking with him. And this, I don't know if this was this call or another call, but I was joking with you about. I said, look, because I was making light. It's nothing like losing a spouse and not knowing what to do. So I was doing everything that I could based on how I had felt in the past
To minister to me.
to minister to you, to
Right.
tell you that it was going to be okay. And like, look, there's all these great places you can go eat, and life is going to be different, but it's going to be okay. I know it doesn't feel good right now, but what better person to tell that to than a person that's lost a spouse? And it had taken me some time to kind of mentally process, but it was a good story to tell you.
Yeah,
Good, ministry.
And you helped me. You helped
And I
me.
ain't have no word. I just at the time the words were good enough to say everything's going to be okay. You want to pick up from here?
Well, and so Q started telling me about don't stay in my shell, get out and mix and mingle. Don't it's therapeutic for you. Even talk about your circumstance and talk about it to get it out too. So she started naming all these restaurants, defined restaurants that you can go to, really nice restaurants that you can go to. And with my quick thinking self, pea brain self, like I'm thinking like a man said, oh man, she telling me all these places to go eat. I'm from Atlanta. You ain't got to tell me where to go eat. I know where to eat. So I said maybe she'll go out with me because I don't want to. And I wasn't talking about a date. I just didn't want to go out by myself. Who want to go and eat by themselves? So we went out to Dan's. That was our first time we went out was Dan's. Had a nice time. We just talked and laughed and talked. But she's a big football fan. She liked the Dallas Cowboys, of course. But I keep asking her why she liked the Fallen Star. Anyway, that's another story to continue later. Anyway, so.
But look, before you get to that part, he said, so do you eat? Do you, no. When do you start dating or do you date? And
that was a later on conversation. But anyway, go ahead.
That was the same.
Okay.
Do you date? And I was like, what do you mean by that? Do I date? I was thinking, do I go out? I mean, when is a good time to start going out after you lose a spouse? And so, and I said, well, yeah, because I wasn't sure he was coming from. And so then I said, yeah, I kind of go out, And so, and then, as things kind of progressed, we had agreed to go out to eat, and I was open to that. But when we went to Nan's, this Chinese Thai restaurant, he said, well, this is our first.
The guy asked me, so is it a special occasion? And I said, yeah, this is our first date. She don't know this ain't no date. No,
it's not. And so, but even before that, some of you guys may know, look at Renelda. Some of you guys may know that I do Legal Shield. And so the one thing, and I'm going to say this to everybody, one thing I can tell you that was gnawing at my heart was to make sure that I could figure out a way to tell him that he needed to make sure he updated his will. Because there's nothing like losing a spouse. And then if something were to happen, everything is assigned or would go to the spouse, but the spouse is deceased. So now you sit up in probate court. So I'd asked him, I said, I want to gently bring something up to you. You may not want to talk about it. I said, but you need to do your will. Started talking to him about that. Started filling out the Legal Shield app because we offer Legal Shield for the church. I started filling out the app. And so then I said, last four of your social, date of birth. So he tells me the date of birth. And I just keep my head down and I'm writing. And so he said, I guess that knocks me out of the running. Hold up. What are you talking about? I'm not interested at all. And then what else?
So she said she wasn't interested. And so she asked me about this guy she had been going out with. And she asked me about him. And I told her, I said, if you're willing to make the investment, he's a word that he's worth spending time with, but you have to make an investment, be sure. And she just said she didn't know whether she wanted to make that investment or not, or willing to pay that price for that. So let me fast forward a little bit, so it won't be all night telling this story. Fast forward a little bit.
Kirk Arnold said that's a date.
She was not.
Kirk Arnold said that's a date.
That's a date. And so really, she wouldn't talk to me because every time she heard my voice, she thought about Bishop Fuller. And so we text a lot, and we text a lot. And she said she was ministering to me, but she said something later on. She was saying, really, we saved each other. We really saved each other. And that's after I'm fast forwarding real forward. Then I'm gonna have to back up again. So we started going texting a lot. Then one time we texted about 2:00 in the morning. And I find my feelings going toward her. I find my feelings more than just a friend, more than just somebody who was ministering to me. And I find my feelings just start falling for her. And I want to spend more time with her. I want to, it was a lot more like puppy love. When you're a young teenager and you meet somebody, I was just fascinated. And her range of knowledge for his football, life experience, praise and worship. We just had so many things that we both shared that we liked.
Yeah,
and I find my feelings just going forward, just falling for her.
Right. So let me ask you this for the person that's watching. that would say, but Miss Jean just passed away or Jean just passed away. How could you know that you're interested in somebody else? Or maybe those feelings are actually that you just needed to be with somebody because you had been married for so long. Well, how do you know
It's a
that
good
you
question.
are really falling for someone? And I wasn't the sort of the backup
Well,
plan.
number one, you have to know yourself, and number two, Jean was gone 15 months, 16 months before she left. So I had been, had to reconcile that in my heart and in my spirit. And it wasn't necessarily that initially my talking to you wasn't to date you. My talking to you wasn't to fall in love with you. Those was not my intention. I just enjoyed the conversation and the fellowship. But the more we talked and the more we text and we talked, the more I find my feelings was more than just friendship. I wanted to go a little farther, and one of the reasons I knew that I really, really liked you more than what I should have probably at that time was I remember Dr. Dollar telling me he wanted me to do It's Called Life, and that's a program I do for Dr. Dollar on the last Thursday of every month. It's called Life, and we talk. It's for ministers and leaders, and we talk about just a whole life situation for ministers and leaders. And when he told me that day, I really picked up the phone and called Jean. Then I realized Jean wasn't there. I had nobody to call. That I mean, I always call my sibling, but that's not the kind of call I wanted. I want somebody that I thought would care about me. And I called you, and I said, you know what, I called you because I didn't have nobody else to call. And you said, oh, that's good. And you were so loving and kind, didn't hurt my feelings like you did before. And so anyway, moving along. So where were we? At the point of, and I just knew in my knower that you the one. And I didn't think you cared anything about me or liked me or interested till we texted 2 o'clock that morning. Then one time to 4 o'clock, and Vera said one thing. She said, "You got a girl like you, don't you?" She said, "You better leave that young girl alone." I said,
No,
"Oh," I
Vera.
said, "Vera, she don't like me."
No,
I said, "She
Vera.
wasn't even thinking about me." So I'm gonna fast forward just a little bit farther so we can tell the story. So I had told her. When I talked to her, like her phone was when we started talking regular, her phone was always breaking up. Always breaking up. So I said, look, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna buy you a phone for your birthday, and we're gonna go to one of my favorite places, Capitol Grill. And so she's okay. So I think it was Joris met you, Rob met you with the kids, and they will keep the kids for you.
Shout out to Jerice.
So we was going to dinner that night, but I don't know. But my feeling, I was falling so fast in love, to be in love, to love her. My feeling was falling so fast that I didn't want to be hurt. So we went to Best Buy in Buckhead to buy her phone for her birthday. Her birthday was in June. So I go to buy the phone. And she said she noticed I wasn't my jovial self. I wasn't joking around. I wasn't my normal self because I know I was going to have a serious conversation because I was willing to walk away because I didn't want to be hurt. I didn't want my feelings to be hurt. And she never expressed anything about how she felt about me. Never said she even liked me, really, verbally. And I knew she did a little bit. She was trying to play like she did, but I know she liked me some anyway. Maybe not like that, or maybe to the degree that I cared about her. So we go in Best Buy, and she knows she pulled my mask down. They said, "Why you not smiling?" So I said, "Well, I want to talk tonight." And I said, "I don't want to talk about it." She said, "No, let's talk about it now." Anybody know Darlene? They know she push you. So they just a little bit like about this merch, about this merch. And so she said, "No, let's talk now." I said, "No, I don't want to talk. We talk now. It wouldn't be a good dinner date." So she said, "No, I want to talk now." So pick it. Sit.
Well, we've been talking now 30 minutes. And I think, just like a good reality show, they're going to have to wait until next week.
No, I disagree. We're gonna go to the finish the Best Buy part.
We ain't even married yet. Look how this works.
We're going to Best Buy part.
We're going to do the Best Buy?
Yeah, we're going to do Best Buy, and
So-
then we'll stop.
So he was looking, and ladies who are married, y'all know you quickly agree. Okay, I'm quickly agreeing. So I remember when I asked him to take down his mask because we were the only people in Best Buy. And I said, "What's wrong?"
Renelda, thank you. You're welcome. I got a new phone.
Yes,
Renelda,
okay,
thank you for getting
I
that
saw
phone.
that. Off the chain. So, but I said, "What's wrong? Why are you, acting that way? I mean, thank you for, inviting me to Best Buy, and I'm excited because my birthday is coming, and so, so then he said, really, I'm gonna take you to dinner just like I told you, and I promised you I was gonna buy you a phone because you got a flip phone." And I said, "Okay." He said, "But I'm not gonna be a good." It's not going to be good at dinner. I'm not going to really talk that much. And I said,
don't want to talk.
Like, what is going on? And so he said, "You know what? I've been expressing to you that I'm interested in you. And not one time have you ever said anything. Not one time have you ever just expressed that you are, that you would remotely be interested in me." And I said, "What do you mean?" And so he said, "You know what? You've been dating in your age bracket. How's that been working for you?" I was like, "Who is he talking to?" And then he said, "You know what? Also, you don't want all this." That's OG stuff, y'all.
Yeah.
He said, "You don't want all this?" He said, look, I can show you my phone." He said, "I have got 4 or 5 women."
You saw it. I mean, I had
showed
women
it to
coming
me.
out. It was in the pandemic. Church hadn't even held up yet. And I had about 8 women trying to hit on this old dude.
They were trying to, and I don't mean older women. I mean women
50s.
my age,
Yeah.
and just just a few years older. And I didn't mean a few years. And so he said, "You don't want all this?" He said, "Because I don't have to wait for anybody." He
And
said,
I
"I
ain't
choose
got the
you."
bag.
He said, "I'm willing to let you go for you to be happy."
If
That's what he said, "I'm gonna walk away." And I was like,
walk away from what?
"What you talking about?" And so I said, "Hold on." And my spirit was really, I was torn on, "Darlene, why can't you say anything?" It's kind of like the men that see the women in the church and they know they see a fine sister, or they know they see a woman that's intelligent, or they know they want to go talk to the sister, but they don't talk to her and they let somebody else grab them. And I was like, "Hold on just a second. I'll be right back." Now, I don't know why I said hold on, and I don't know where I was going to be right back, but I said, "I'll be right back." So we were the only people in Best Buy because at the time they had, you had to make reservations.
Right.
Nobody else was in the store. All of Best Buy. So I would go to the restroom. And I go to the restroom and I get to the back stall. And God spoke to me and he said, "Are you willing? No, you're willing to let go or let this man walk away because of age?" And I know immediately I turned around. I don't even know where that really came from, but it was like, today is your receiving day.
Everything you prayed for is right sitting out there, and you can let his age hinder you.
Look, today is your receiving day. So I turned around and went back out to the lobby. Now he's sitting there, major disposition. I'm like, what happened to the smiley person? It went to this. Turn and do your. I was like, who was that? I don't know that. He don't smile or nothing. And so I walked up to him and I said, I touched his face. I had never touched him before. And I said, "I'm all in." And he looked at me like,
"Yeah, right. You ain't gonna play me.
This
don't pacify me. You ain't pacify me."
No. Coolest guy I know. And he said, "Okay." And he just kept looking at me. But I knew I had to make that decision. Otherwise,
I'd have walked away.
He'd have walked away.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes, ladies, and we're going to get to the rest of the story. Is that okay? The next week?
I'm going to tell to the elevator.
Okay, tell to the elevator. Okay.
Oh, so
but can I say this real quick?
Okay.
But sometimes we let God's best go because we want to do it our way. We've got a plan. We've got the script. We know how much money he's supposed to make or she's supposed to make. We know
how
the
tall
age
they're
bracket.
Supposed to be,
right.
Where they look, where they work.
Where they go to church.
Yeah.
What they do. They save, not saved. We didn't already come up with a script.
You got a wish list.
You got a wish list. And that's what it is, a wish. But when God does it, he he opens really the doors that no man can shut. And he'll close every other door that no man can open up. And I'm telling you, God really did have to chisel this hardened heart of mine to receive a person like him, because I would not have ever chosen a Kenny Fuller. But God saw fit to, I don't know how he had to do it, but he did it.
Amen.
And so now you're going to tell the part. What's the next part? And then we got to let him go.
So we're going to end with this here. So she's rubbing my face and all, and I'm still looking.
I am not
like,
rubbing hard, y'all. I'm just trying to.
I'm like, you ain't gonna play me. You ain't gonna play me. You ain't gonna pacify me. I just didn't. She said she was all in, maybe to get out the moment or the circumstance at the moment. So we was in separate cars. So we went and got in the cars and went on to Capitol Grill. So we go to Capitol Grill. You had to get on the elevator to go upstairs to the restaurant. So we get in Capitol Grill, and I'm standing with my arms folded, and I'm leaning against the wall.
Attitude.
And this wasn't sure. So then she walked over there and gave me a kiss. So that kind of broke me down a little bit. Just broke at least a smile on my face. And, okay, she might be a little interested, because I wasn't falling for that first stuff. So anyway, we get in the restaurant.
That
so
was
it's
uncomfortable.
It's about 5 or 6 ladies over there sitting at the restaurant, and the waiter came out, and he was giving each of them roses, and they was giggling, and they were so happy, and they was keeping up noise in the restaurant. And I looked at her and I said, Q, would you rather be over there with them, or you would rather be here? Because they're going home by themselves. Boom! Game over.
And I was like, okay. And he makes that point quite often to let me know. Because see, look, ladies, I don't know how many of you that are watching or will watch this recording that you did this swipe left, swipe right. We're doing it in our church. We just don't know our members are doing it. And it's okay if that's what you do. But I was swiping left for at least a year. And I would stay up late just looking. I'd gone out. I even had, it's just lunch. I paid about $2,500 for this professional company to pair you up with the right person. But see, when it's not God, that don't work. I don't care what you do. You can swipe left. You hope that you land on is like playing the lottery. You be hoping that the numbers will come and hit your number.
Lucky number. Lucky seven.
But what I discovered, and Fuller says it all the time. You guys, I call him Fuller. I don't ever call him Kenny. What I discovered, and he says it all the time. Love and kindness.
It's always in season.
Are always in season.
Love and kindness are always in season. Never
and
go out of season.
The love that this man displayed towards me, I had never experienced. The God kind of love and the physical love of a man being a gentleman. We got stories to tell you guys. Ladies, I got stories to tell you.
It's getting better than this. This is just the beginning. So we're going to cut it off here because I don't want to hold you too long. I know a lot of you got the dinners. You got kids. Today was first day of school. But I know we went over today, but we did that on purpose. We're going to go over next week because we're going to tell you a lot of story. A lot of things I showed her how to be a gentleman. I talk about being a gentleman. So if you got a husband, you have a young man in your house, one of the things I've been doing is teaching Paige how to talk to a man, how a man should be treated. I talked to her son Austin about being a man, have him open the door. If I'm sitting on one side, he's sitting on the other. I said, open the door for your mom, open the door for Paige. So we're going to talk about some of all those things too. But I tell you what, I appreciate you showing up. I saw people that I hadn't seen or talked to in years, like the Peters from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and the Coolies, and a whole lot of you I hadn't talked to. I really appreciate all the people from Griffin, my hometown. Always got to get a shout out. I hope Auntie Bunnies is watching and Nudie watching, so they'll know what space I'm in. I'm in a good space. I thank God for Q. But you got to stay tuned in to hear the rest of the story. So God bless you. I love you. I'm not playing the music tonight, but I'm gonna dance my way out.
But I do want you to say one thing. Can you do one thing for me?
What's that?
What is it that we talked about? Because I know somebody's thinking this as well. Y'all are a lot far apart, not that far apart in age.
Yeah.
So, and we talked about this the other day. What if something happens to you? So, Darlene, now you're back by yourself. And then he could say, what if something happened to you? See, I've already been married and lost a husband that was young. So I can't use that as the excuse if something happens to him. But the one thing you said is it's better to what? Have love?
To love and lost and never loved at all. It's better to love and lost and never loved at all. And one of the things that she said, I would rather take 10 years of being happy than take another year or two of being lonesome and lonely. I would rather take my chance. And, like I got longevity in my life. I plan to live 120 long and strong unless God called me up. I'm going to do the things necessary to take care of myself. I already got good genes, so I'm blessed. And we're going to be blessed, and we're going out this thing together. Look, man, I tell you, if it get any better, I'm going to clone myself. Your day is coming. Joy. Peace. You won't be lonely anymore. The Holy Spirit will comfort you, but the Holy Spirit will direct you to the right place. And look, love you guys. To get any better, I'm going to clone myself. Love you.
Share with your church members, right?
Share with your church members. Share with about it. Next Monday, we're going to get into the courting stage and how we went about courting and falling in love with one another.
Taking a chance on love.
Tell you about that all the way up until the engagement, which was 2 weeks ago. So you got to tune in to get the rest. Bye. We out. Peace out. Love you.